Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We now know a lot more about the upcoming Path of Exile League 3.17 Siege of the Atlas. And in this video I will cover the main bits and tell you about my plans for the league. Let's jump straight into the bullet points that I wanted to highlight for my regulars and passers-by who might not know how I play or specifics of the content that I produce on my channel. First of all, I am not a Path of Exile expert. I've never tried to pretend to be one. I have a life and I produce content for those who have a life. I will cover only what resonated with me or what is important to a Path of Exile player that I represent, to casuals or newbies, not to the experts or endgame crawlers. Point number 3 is that I believe that Path of Exile is extremely beginner unfriendly, and this new league has done nothing to improve the game's clarity or accessibility of its lower level range elements while offering some minor clarity improvements for the end game. So while it is disappointing overall that they clearly don't prioritize newcomers to the game, it is still a marginal improvement for the relative newbies who are going to reach end game maps of the game. Finally, stay till the end of the video if you are interested to hear about my actual plans for this league as a player and a content creator. I will talk to you about it then. Now let's jump to the key live stream announcements about 3.17 Siege of the Atlas League that resonated with me. The league itself will start on February the 4th. So everything that you'll see from any channel on YouTube between now and then is pure theory crafting and speculation, no matter how expert and convincing people will try to sound, fishing for your clicks. So please keep it in mind. Siege of the Atlas changes the end game of Path of Exile very substantially, where they have added a couple of new bosses for you to hunt across the end game Atlas maps. If you've never reached end game of Path of Exile before, or simply were confused about how the Atlas maps, watchstones and the other mechanics worked, I dare say, my friend, that you will still be confused in 3.17, just a little bit less, from what I've seen on the live stream anyway. Why? Because they've removed regions of the Atlas and individual region-based skill trees, streamlining this endgame design into one big and clearer web of maps that you will open up and basically travel through Atlas in a nutshell. As a newbie or a casual player of the game, that's probably all that you need to know about the end game at this stage, and obviously nobody is stopping you from watching the official live stream video on Path of Exile's channel if you want to hear every little detail. I don't want to waste my or your time repeating what game director Chris Wilson already summarized very well for anyone who is interested enough. Now a few words about the new mechanic of the league. In case you're a complete newbie, each new league or expansion in Path of Exile comes with a new unique mechanic of its own, which this time is called Archnemesis. It is kind of like when you find those frozen essence monsters on the maps. You sometimes encounter them, you need to click them, they come to life and you kill them. They're usually a little bit more complex than the other rare mobs, and then they give you the essences that they're holding. Except now in this Archnemesis mechanic, it's going to be more complex and potentially is the keyword, exciting, because you will use special modifier keystones that you will find as you clear the maps, or so I understood. You will apply them to those monsters to unfreeze and free them basically. Then you fight them, and if you kill the monster, you get the rewards based on that modifier and the keystone that you've applied. What Grinding Gear Games thinks is cool about this league, and it remains obviously to be seen as we start playing the game when it releases, the new league, it is that there are up to 4 frozen monsters per map, Archnemesis monsters, allowing stackable effect of those monster modifiers as you free the second, the third and the fourth monster. What this apparently is supposed to do is it gives you also an opportunity to stack the rewards from each modifier. So, for example, if one of them was supposed to give you a weapon, let's say, and you have applied it when freeing the very first monster. So you fought the first monster, you fought then with some different modifier second monster, you fought the third monster, and now you're about to free and fight the fourth one. So it sounds like you will get 4 weapon drops along with the other modifier rewards from the other applied keystones, because that very first applied modifier of an extra weapon reward would have multiplied 4 times. Or at least, once again, that's how I understood it. I don't know if it's the best way to explain it, but to me it sounds cool and obviously potentially quite straightforward and rewarding, I suppose. League mechanics, these unique league mechanics, and ultimately balance changes, which there are some as well to talk about, are, in my opinion, 2 things that are always most impactful for casuals and beginners of Path of Exile, which is why I focus on these 2 here and not on the really end game grind and atlas maps and that kind of stuff, in case you're still sitting there wondering. The biggest and most impactful balance change for us is that they are buffing direct hit-based spell casting, which is spells like Arc or Fireball if you're silly enough to play with it, and nerfing a few very core kind of damaging mechanics that are more indirectly hitting and arguably more fun, such as totems, mines, traps. They have also done a few other obviously additions and changes, such as adding new divination cards, 14 apparently new unique items, most of which you will probably never see as a casual or beginner player of the game. I'm sorry mate, just being real here. And new currency, Eldritch Orbs, that will still take you a PhD to understand properly how to apply them and use them smartly in crafting your items, my friend. So now, as a wrap up to my plans for this league and what you can expect to see on my channel. Firstly, I will keep producing more casual and very beginner-friendly build guides this league, starting with my staple build. Anyone wants to take a guess? Arc Witch, that is believed to be performing a lot better this league due to these just announced changes to direct spell casts that they've made. So stay absolutely tuned if this is something that you are after. Secondly, I am thinking of creating a proper, detailed and beginner-friendly leveling guide, not just a generic build guide, many of which you've obviously already seen on my channel. It means that I will prioritize the process of getting to the end game over the summary of the build for those who already know everything about the game, and often criticize how imperfect my end game builds are, I must add. This time around, I thought that I'll focus on holding the hand of my, presumably beginner, viewers as I level up my Arc Witch from 0 to hero and other builds if there is sufficient amount of interest in similar format for my future videos. Finally, if you like the stuff that I do, but never say anything or don't bother to like my videos, maybe 2022 is a good time to change this passive attitude, my friend, because you have to understand that as a content creator, first of all, I appreciate and need your moral support, as well as the requests for content if you are particularly interested in something. Otherwise, I'm not a mind reader. So all in all, I am really looking forward to this league of Path of Exile, but not because it sounds particularly amazing. Far from it, to be honest. I'm just simply bored and I want a clean slate for my characters' journeys in Rayclast. If you'd like to join me, you're most welcome to do that. Subscribe button is right there for you to click on it and let's go. Like the video to show your support while you're at it. Don't be lazy. It is always very much appreciated, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. I will talk to you very soon. Bye for now.